Get ready to power start your day with wealth, lifestyle, and leadership coach Nicola Smith Jackson. Tune in each Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern for your daily dose of motivation and business education to help you build big business and be successful. And now, here's Nicola.
Good morning, family, and welcome to Power Start Your Day. This is Nicola Smith Jackson, and we're going to reawaken your spirit, resuscitate your passion, renew your mind so you can recommit to the plan that God has for you, and that's for you to build a big business. Now, I, along with special guests here from time to time, we're going to be coaching you Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't done this already, go ahead and share the call. They can simply dial in at 602-753-1848 or listen online with their smart device, iPad, tablet, PC, or Mac at blogtalkradio.com/success with Nicola. Guys, we've been on a very, 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 very powerful series talking about the biggest secrets to better prospecting and recruiting. And I've been taking you guys down through, we don't say sales, but through the serving process. And I know that it's going to take a while for that message to really hone in about the difference between selling and serving. I know the moment I got that clarity that the highest level of service for me, for people, was to serve them with what my business had to offer, had to serve them with what do they need to move to the next level in their life. I'm clear that's my purpose. So it doesn't feel like work, or it doesn't feel, I don't get any type of guilt or anything like that when I ask a person to either join me in my movement or to use our products or services or what have you, because I know that it's serving them. I know that they had an issue, a challenge, and then when I showed up on the scene, I was a solution, I was an answer. And if you begin to continue to think in the manner of, I'm a solution, you now will begin to move into a different perspective of what you do in your network marketing business, which is serving. Now, with the secrets to prospecting and recruiting, we went through some points, and some people are getting it and some people are not. But today we're going to need you to engage, highly engage. So you're going to light up the lines now. Press star on number 1. You want to light up the lines because you guys know it's time to get practical. It's time to be able to put this stuff into work. And I got to ask some questions. But I need you guys to understand that on today, you have to choose to do what you need to do to go to the next level. Choice. We're all operating in choice right now. You have chosen your status. You have chosen your rank in your company. And so we've got to go to God and ask him to give us the courage to make the right choices so we can walk into the fullness of what he has for us. Give us the courage to be able to not only make those choices, but walk in those choices. So we got to go on one accord because many people have not been choosing to take their spot at the top. They say, I still like it at the bottom. It feels a little comfortable down here. And of course, it's a process. But let's go together so we can rise up together. Father God, we come before you. We honor you. We're coming boldly but humbly before your throne. And you've given us the permission to do so. And we are choosing on this day to walk in the fullness of our authority that you've given us. Dear Lord, we come to you, we honor you because you're magnificent, you're awesome. There's no one above you. But you've made us in the likeness of your image. So that means you're expecting magnificence from us. Lord, we pray on today that we'll begin to see ourselves the way you see us, even as the angels say, but what is man? That are mindful of them. We just don't have a clue. But today we want to choose you, choose your word, choose the truth about who we really are. That we were created to do big and magnificent things in your name. So that means, Lord, you said that the greatest among us are the ones who serve. So we want to serve in the highest capacity. Leadership, leading people to better lives, leading them to better choices, leading them to another way of thinking, which will lead them to another way of being. It was very clear. Our brother, your son, Jesus Christ, said that he came that we may have life and that we may have it more abundantly. We want to please you, God, to walk in abundance. But we know there's some things that we must do. You said that if we love you, that we'll keep your commandments. And so we want to walk in that right now and acknowledging that you've already given us the command. You've already given us the command to do great. So as we are going forth to be better, we're making the choice today to move past our fears and into faith that will now catapult us to do the work that's necessary to take our spot at the top. We're thanking you, dear Lord, that each and every household on the sound of my voice, that their mind is coming into one accord, that they are blessed by measure. They're moving into a place where they are willing to give and give freely. We're thanking you, oh dear Lord, that they're moving all of those obstacles and all of the dramas and everything out of the way so they can go out and serve your people. We're thanking you that they have the ears to hear. And they won't only be hearers, but they'll now begin to be doers of your word. These mighty works that we'll do only in the name of your son, Jesus. Never be ashamed of you. Never be ashamed of who you are or whose we are. They will know who sent us. So as we're having supernatural growth in our business right now, we're giving all of the honor and the praise to you. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Okay, so today, guys, we have been talking about the biggest secrets to better prospecting and recruiting. We got to give you the language that's familiar to you so that now you will begin to understand what we might say synonyms or what we're calling it here at Power Start Your Day, that we are serving people. And we talked in the beginning, I always have to do a quick review because sometimes people are hopping on the call for the first time and you may need to go back and catch up. But we know that the first thing is that we have to be clear that when we are serving, that it always has to come from the interest of our prospect, the person who we're serving, not our own interest. We have to be clear on our benefits of what our product or service do so that we can now communicate that. Now, the best way to communicate it if you're brand new is letting them watch your video, your company video, or letting them see an overview that you have the experts doing and things like that. And then now you want to be able to ask the right questions. Ask, don't tell, and serve, don't sell. And then you have to learn how to listen more, talk less. Listen intently and intentionally to your prospect so that you can literally serve them with what it is they want. What are they trying to accomplish? And then now we're going to talk about, after you've done that, you've got to give your prospect the choice. So our word today comes out of the book of Mark. Mark, chapter 8, verse 34. And it says, when he had called the people to himself, this is Jesus, and his disciples also, he said to them, whoever desires to come after me, let them deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Now, if God himself gives us the choice to say follow or don't follow, I need you guys to understand that if you're leading, and many people think that leadership begins after the prospect becomes your business partner or your customer. It doesn't. You don't turn leadership off. You're leading the prospect with the right questions for them to make a choice, to decide if they want to join you, or they want to be a part of you, if they want to follow you, if they want to abandon some of their thoughts even before they met you to say, I want to join your movement, your team, what have you. They have to make the choice, because I'm going to tell you right now that prospecting and recruiting, where I've seen people either insulting people or trying to make them feel smaller than they are, it doesn't work. Those people, even if they join you through fear or, we know that fear of loss or missing out is a factor. People want to be included, right? But when you're trying to close people through manipulation and coercion and insulting and things like that, I've seen all these things out here. I've been out here a long time. And I'm saying, but really? The principles say that people want to do business with who they know, like, and trust. It doesn't say they want to do business with people who manipulate and they fear and they really don't like. They just join it because they think they're going to lose something right now. That is not the recipe for long-term relationships in business or in personal. And so what I want you guys to understand is that offering your prospect the choice becomes a much more desirable action. But that comes as a result of what we told you in the process, making sure that you're dealing from the interest of the prospect, making sure that you're asking the questions of, what did you like most? Tell me a little bit more about that. Let me ask you this, where do you see yourself? Which we're moving into the close. You've gotten to know them, and because you're listening intently, they're getting to like you. You're engaged in their interest. They're getting to like you. When they give you their answers, and now you're engaging with them in their own language, where you're matching and mirroring what they have said to you, and then now they feel they're getting to know you. And this builds a bridge of trust. So now after they continue to answer, and you move in now to the close where you're giving them a choice, and you're able to ask them, well, let me ask you, where do you see yourself with us? On, a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being maybe starting with, a pro package or your highest package, whatever it is. Number 1 being a customer. Where do you see yourself? Or you can say, wow, typically when people say what you say, they're ready to get started. So how would you like to get started with us today? You gave them choice. Then you give them, would you like to start with, like maybe, I don't know, you're going to start with the pro with us, or you're going to, just start off with being a customer? And then they may say, I'm choosing the best, because when you took them down the journey, you showed them a different way of thinking of life, even in this short period of time. We're not talking about over years. We're talking about the process of sharing the right information. That's why you want to use your videos. That's why when people go in and they want to try to do mini presentations and you're brand new and all that, you don't win that way because you don't know enough. Majority of the videos, even if you say it's not even the best video your company has or not the best, I can assure you it's a more complete picture of what the company has and can do than you could say, I use these tools myself and I can do our company presentation. But it's not duplicatable, number one. And number two, you need to understand that you'll keep talking and talking and talking and talking. It's so much better than listen. Remember, if you're out there and you're doing your prospecting 2 to 5 times a day, and if you're moving up, you're going 10 to 20 times a day, you can't say the presentation that many times. That's not what you want to do. You want to have them go through the process, watch the video. That's why when people get on the line, you can tell them they're new. And they're like, okay, hey, Nicola, I got so-and-so on the line. I edified you. I told them who you are. Oh, you're this, you're that, you're that. And then, you know what, Nicola, here's so-and-so. And now my first question is always, hey, so tell me what you've seen about the company so far. Did you get a chance to watch our video? Oh, I didn't get a chance to watch. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I couldn't do it any justice. Especially if you're looking about joining with us or even considering, our company, I wouldn't want to rob you. I need you to go ahead and watch this short video, and then we'll get right back on the line. So let me make sure you got that link and watch it, and then let's get right back on the line, and I'll be sure to answer any questions that you might have before you get started with us. Why am I doing that? Even course correcting my business partner who don't understand that you can't do that a lot of times. You can't make a lot of money if you're not leveraging the tools and the process or the system of better prospecting and recruiting. Why would you want to use your breath and tell the presentation 10 or 20 times a day and you still are going to get a higher percentage of no's than you get yes? Exhausting. So then by the time you get to that prospect and you're exhausted, you've not given them your best. And so you're not giving them much to work with as to a choice if they want to be down with you or not. Guys, I know I talk from a standpoint with prospecting and recruiting that I've never really heard taught before. Just my take on it. And I close a lot of people in groups, one-on-one, one-on-two, one-on-five. It doesn't matter. But I need you guys to understand that if you understand this process here and giving people a choice. I mean, Wayne Dyer said, be miserable or motivate yourself. Whatever has to be done, it's always your choice. So if you give the picture of a brighter future, and then you can remind them as to where they are now, which is not so bright, the choice is always going to be the brighter future. Some people move slower than others in deciding on the brighter future based off of personality, circumstances, what have you. And that's when you start now having to be ready and for objections or ready for, showing them, hearing intently what they're saying. And then you can even remind them of when they said, I'm not ready, that maybe a few sentences ago, based off of what they said, it sounded like they were ready. So what happened in between there? What's stopping them? So I need you to know that you got to hang around folk, meaning training, being in position, so you can get this inside of you. Now this is who you become. And, I can tell you for myself, even when I understood this process and I was doing it myself, I had to make sure I was in environments that reminded me of this process, because you see so many people doing it wrong. Yeah, there are many ways you can prospect, but if you were to listen to all of the top producers in the industry, the whole thing, it sounds similar. Certain words might change a little bit, but it sounds similar. Why? Because it's always taking that person down the path of, I'm here for you to give you what you want. And I'm going to show you that when you make the decision of what I have to offer, that your life is going to be better. You're also going to have the support. Listening intently is showing that you're a person that can be supportive of them. And then now I'm going to give you the choice to have a better life or stick with what you got. Stick with what hasn't been working thus far. And the choice always becomes much more favorable, whether now or later, that I need to join the team. Now, gotta hang around, folks, because I'm telling you this. It took me a while to realize that your circle have everything to do with how you think and what you do. People be wondering why should they also show up and get more information and get trained to be at the highest level they can be for their company, for their industry. It's because when you're hanging around a bunch of people that are getting trained, you're hanging around a bunch of people with a higher level of or thought process, and they're going somewhere. Even though people are getting there at different times, it's okay, but they're going somewhere. And so it needs to be your choice too, that you got to hang around people that make you feel good about what you're doing and where you're trying to go. And you find that at events and company trainings and things like that. That's where you find that. Because most people, their circle just don't understand that I just want the highest level of life that life has to offer me. Most people just don't understand that. So the same way on how you are wanting your better prospect and recruiting, lead your prospect down to a better choice, the way you're able to master that is by you making better choices yourself. Because see, another thing on why prospecting and recruiting is so difficult for people, they're trying to come into somebody they're not, because they themselves, and some of the network marketers, are not making better choices themselves. They want to make the money, but they're not making the choices of the people or like the people who's making the money. So it becomes like a conflict, again, of interest, a conflict. So it's hard for you to show somebody how to make the brighter future for themselves when you keep making the choices that keep you where you are. Like when you have opportunities or choices to attend or be in atmospheres that help you to grow. That's what Dr. Monroe told us as leaders. That's what leaders do. Create atmospheres for other people to grow. So when people start hanging around you, it should be opportunities for them to grow. Even if you're not where you think you should be, they can watch you in the process pursuing it. It's choice. I want to open up the lines. Let's see here. We have anybody in the queue? Good morning. Oh, what? Queue full. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to go right here. 443-9353 is in. Whoa, the queue is full. Good morning.
Good morning, Nicola. This is Rochelle in Maryland. I don't know how I got to be first, but I'll take it.
Okay, hey, got to go first. I just went in the order they came in. Good morning.
Good morning.
So,
I didn't know if you were asking me a question or if I was sharing.
Yeah, let me ask you this question on the prospecting and recruiting. What's your aha? And right now, we took you down the process of the conflict of interest that most people have, and then not being, clear on the right questions to ask, and then listening intently and being able to guide that prospect into a better choice. Tell me about that with you. What have you learned, or what areas have you said, you know what, this is where I got to tighten up in my prospecting game.
Yeah, for me, I know that where I have to tighten up is that I have to get my information, this amazing information, out to more people. So that has been, I know that is my goal, my charge, to get the information out to more people. But I think one of the best things that I heard was that, there's a conflict of interest at times. And, sometimes I think I get maybe a little frustrated with certain things. But then when I think about it in terms of the phrase conflict of interest, I'm like, maybe I am not working within what is in the best interest of the person that I'm speaking to all the time. And that may be a disconnect in that conversation. And so I've been being very now deliberate and intentional about the way that I'm approaching those situations.
That's really, really key. I thank you so much. And that's where a lot of people, they're not realizing that's where they're coming from. They're coming from their own interest of, I'm about to get a win, which is another business partner or customer. And that's why most people don't do it, because if that business or that prospect don't come aboard, then it's like, I lost. When it's not that you lost, it's some kind of way your prospect lost out on not being able to get the benefits of what you had to offer. And it changes everything, even about how you feel about going through your nose and everything. If it's within the prospect's interest, you can keep moving. This paradigm will help so many people. Thank you so much, Rochelle. That is so key. 973-9242 in the queue. Good morning.
Good morning, Nicola. How are you?
I'm awesome. Good morning. What's your name?
This is Barbara, Nicola.
Hey, Barbara. Hey, look, I have Rochelle and Barbara. Good morning. Okay, so tell me, where are you at? Yeah, what do you feel you need to tighten up in your prospecting process, or where do you feel, let's just go ahead and share.
Well, basically, for me, mine is more so a time freedom, because of my trade, I had to just run off the floor just now just to talk to you guys. We can't have our phones on the floor, so for 8 hours a day, I'm like disconnected from everything. So it's like once I get home, start with the family life and all of that other stuff, it's like I have this set window to try to do what needs to be done. And it seems like it's not enough.
Not enough.
It seems like not enough.
How many hours in a day?
24.
How many hours you said you at work?
8.
Subtract 24 from 8. How many hours you got left?
Okay. I got it.
Got it. Cool. Let's figure that out. It sounded like you had more hours not at work than you had hours at work. So it seems like there is some hours that can probably be readjusted. And even if you're doing some things with the family, I get it 100%. Everybody know I get up and I cook breakfast every single morning. What I need you guys to do is take a look at those 24 hours. Everybody gets the same amount of time. Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, you, I. We all get the same amount of hours with our days. Nobody gets an extra hour. So what you got to do is look at those hours and make sure that you're giving the highest and best use of every hour that you do have. And maybe you need to do a journal on what's happening every hour of your day. Even while you're at work. Do that maybe for 72 hours. I did that one time. I had to go into repentance. Hot mess. I'll tell you one thing. A hot mess.
Because I
don't need nobody to do that. Oh gosh, come on now. You don't need nobody to do that. Do that 72-hour daily journal and even think about how much time your mind even drifting on, how many hours you don't have, and that's the same time that you could be doing something that you're not doing nothing with that time. I went into repentance.
Right.
Check back with me. You know I love you, girl. You keep it real. Exactly. You know I love you. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to take this last caller, 954, last 4, 9951. Good morning.
Good morning, Nicola. My name is Marquisha Smith. I am here in Tampa. And, you know, God works a very funny kind of way, because I sat on this call, and at first I was like, get prepared. Nicola's going to pick you. This is my first time ever even pressing the button. I've listened to you for probably about 8 months. But that's my personality. I watch. And I've been taking it all in. And things for me have gotten 100% better. And I'm going to, you know, the thing that I have to work on as I sit here and as I think, you know, the last caller, Barbara, who said, hey, I got, you know, my life is busy. I got my work. I work for 8 hours. And I'm sitting here thinking about myself in that process. So, yeah, I'm busy too. And I work for 8 hours. And I listened to one of your calls probably about a month ago where you said the same thing to me that you said to her. Take a journal, 72 hours, write down every hour what you did. And I had to do the same thing, because one of those hours I think I spent scrolling through Facebook. So I had to come back to the realization that you have time, you're just wasting it. And so what I did was, you know, yes, I work 8 hours, but so I decided social media was going to have to work for me. And that was kind of the way that I just took it on. And I said, okay, I live on the East Coast. Who's up at this late hour after I've cooked dinner, after I've sat down, after I've gotten my kids and my husband together? The West Coast is up. And so I started prospecting the West Coast. And that allowed me to be up until the wee hours of about 1 or 2 in the morning. And they were still very responsive because their time zone, you know, allowed for that. And so I just had to work smarter. And then I realized the other thing that was so powerful that you said was, and I don't know if you said it or I just got it from listening to you, that it was okay when a prospect said no. It didn't change. At first, I would get so frustrated about, oh, my God, I've done all this work. This is too much. And then I started using my script. And when a prospect said no to me, it was never no because you didn't present this right. It was no because right now isn't the right time. And I didn't allow myself to get caught up on the fact that, you know, they're saying no. And instead, my tone didn't change, because that's so important. Like I remember a time where my tone would immediately change when they said no. And I would start to feel like, you know what, I've wasted my time. I don't have time to keep doing this. And the minute that I started to really control myself and say, when these people say no, especially when you've done it right, especially when you've asked the questions and you've recapped and used it in their own language, they've never said no to me ever since that moment because they didn't want to. It's always been because right now I just don't have it, but I promise you when I get it, I'm going to give you a call back. It has been so powerful since I have used the script. I have gone to the trainings, and I have really just applied these things. And I work not an 8-hour a day job. My job is nonstop. I am on call up until 2 a.m. every single day. But you know what? I can't keep using that as an excuse. And ever since I've worked this thing out, I've said to myself, the only time I'm not making sales is when I'm not working. And so whenever I'm not making sales, I have to check myself and say, it's because you're not exposing. It's because you're not actually doing the work. There's work, and people are up in the wee hours. And so maybe I just need to be up too.
There you go. Oh, my Lord, baby. I don't even want to change a thing you said. I'm not even going to add anything because I want people to hear from the mouth of a leader who says, you know what? I was that same person. When I changed the way I think, things started to change. When I changed my posture, responses from my prospects started to change. When I started doing the work, it started working for me. Guys, God bless you. You made me smile, darling. I can't wait to meet you. Make sure you come up when you see me next time. Where are we coming to? It's ATL on the 19th, September 2nd, South Florida, September 9th, New York, New Jersey area. We're going to be there. Then we're going to be hitting some other cities. Make sure if you're on Power Start Your Day, you in those trainings so we can all go to the next level together. Thank you. Listen, guys, you tuned in, you took notes. Go out there and take some massive action. Our last caller nailed it. You guys have a blessed day. You made me smile. Take care.